welcome back to the channel. Welcome to our Tuesday night live premiere tonight. And if this is your first time joining us, a big welcome. If you are with us every single week, hi. And if you are here for the first time or for the 100th time and you have not hit the subscribe button yet, I want to invite you to join our growing community here on YouTube. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and we have some pretty amazing things that happen, from recipes to weight loss tips. And tonight, we are going to have on in just a moment one of the cast members of our season 2 biggest transformation. Danielle is here live and in person, and she's going to be sharing some of her journey, her successes, some of her struggles, where she's at now after the season has ended. And so you picked a really amazing episode to tune into. If you're somebody who has a social media account, this woman is beyond inspirational. Wait till you hear her freaking story. She is somebody who inspires me. And this is something you're going to want to share. There's lots of people out there that struggle with their weight, that struggle with lack of belief, that struggle with, I failed for all these years and I really want to, but I don't know if I can. And Danielle is living proof of somebody who has overcome all of those things. And so without further ado, help me welcome to the show, Danielle. There she is.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. She's like, awesome. I asked her, and I said, hey, so what's your schedule look like? I would love to interview you on the show because you really are such an inspiration. And she was like, okay, yeah, sure, because she's so freaking sweet. So Danielle, you were a part of the season 2 cast of The Biggest Transformation.
Yep.
Okay. And to date, can I tell them how much you've lost?
Please, yes.
She's like, tell them. 64 pounds. So Danielle started with us at 230.8 pounds. You were how many weeks pregnant?
Oh boy. I was in my 3rd trimester. I'm not sure of the weeks, but yeah.
Yeah, you were like 32 or 30, something like that weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was so pregnant. I was like, I talked to my husband. I'm like, babe, I don't know, man. Like, can I take a pregnant woman? Like, can she do this? Like, and so you had to get a doctor's note to even be considered. She had to get a doctor's note that her doctor was like recommending that she loses weight. And so so you've lost 64 pounds in total. 27% of your body is what you lost inside of 12 weeks. Yeah. All the way through pregnancy. So I want to back up, Danielle, because I want to go back because first off, a lot of times we hear about weight loss stuff. Was this the first weight loss thing you had ever tried?
No. Oh no. I've done lots over the last 10 years.
So you're human like the rest of us.
Yes, I am very.
Okay. So you heard about The Biggest Transformation, and what was it that made you apply in the 3rd trimester of your pregnancy?
Well, my cousin Denise is on, she was on the 1st season, and she had such amazing success. And I watched every episode 2 times over because I was just so inspired by everybody on there. And I mean, I was nervous to apply. I had it all written out and I deleted it, had it all written out because I'm like, oh, they're not going to want a pregnant woman. And so I just went for it one day, and by the grace of God, got accepted. And yeah, I mean, I needed to lose the weight. My doctor was pushing me. I had a very traumatic birth with my 2nd child. And so he said that it was most likely to happen again if I don't lose the weight, the postpartum hemorrhaging. And so, yeah, that kind of scared me into now or never. Yeah.
That's incredible. And so you got started. And when you first got started, like obviously you had hope, right? But were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you like, what am I doing?
Yes, all those. First of all, I am not a public person. I do not do YouTube stuff. I don't have any pictures of myself on Facebook, just of my kids. So this was a stretch for me. But I just yeah, I just went for it. I obviously was scared because 10 years of failure after failure and every diet that I did, you'd lose a couple just to gain twice that amount back and constant. So yeah, I was worried, but so excited.
No, okay, so and I remember having a conversation with you and you were like, I'll totally get the doctor's note. Like you were so willing, just there was almost like a desperacy in your voice. Like you're like, I need to do something. So where was life when you applied? Like where had you gotten in life? Like what did life look like prior to you doing this?
Yeah, I was a hermit in my own home. I did not leave my home because I was so embarrassed of how like much weight I had put on over the years. Because I was always like 125 and you know got sick with Lyme disease and just depression, all that stuff. It just spiraled and I had gained over 100 pounds, and so I did not go out. I was in my house. My husband was doing the grocery shopping, he was taking kids to school, he was doing everything. I didn't go to my kids' Christmas plays, nothing. I just stayed home. So it was a pretty miserable existence, to be honest. And I just felt so convicted by the Lord, like, I created you for so much more. There's a purpose here, and yeah. So I was
When I
desperate.
remember you told me you didn't go out and I was like what do you mean? Like you don't go to the bar? She was like, no, like nowhere. And at that point, I think you hadn't stepped foot in your kid's school up to that point.
No.
Wow. And how did that affect the family?
Oh boy. Yeah, like it affected our marriage because there's no dating. There's no dating life other than, hey, let's pick up a pizza or McDonald's and watch Dateline or something. Like that was it. Or it affected my kids because they didn't get to go out. They didn't get to go to the movie theater or go anywhere because I was too embarrassed. And yeah, it really affected everybody. And
And how did it affect you personally? This conflict, because obviously as a mom and as a wife, you didn't want to not do things with your husband or your kids, but the shame kept you in. So how did that affect your psyche?
oh boy, I mean, yeah, I was in a serious depression um, because I had so much guilt and so much fail. Like, you're such a failure. You're like, your kids deserve better. Your husband deserves better. All these thoughts were just constantly in my head, and that just led to more eating, which doesn't make sense on the outside, but that's emotional eating. It's real.
It is, and it's not just for us overweight people. Like it's we so many times we use food to self-medicate thinking it's going to help, but then it only leaves us feeling worse and more shameful and more, it's like this vicious cycle. And so that's where you started. And I so love you sharing that because there's so many times where people will watch somebody like you who started off pregnant, who started off at 230 pounds. You currently are at 166. And they'll say, oh, well, she must have had all the support from this, or she must have had. And it's so refreshing to see that no, it just took a decision. You didn't have the perfect circumstances. You didn't have like all the confidence in the world. You weren't leaving your house. And so you jumped into the season. How did that go? Like, describe that to me, like being involved in the biggest transformation.
Oh boy, it was stretching. Again, the anxiety that came with every Sunday morning, the YouTube video, and all that stuff.
Well, hold on, because some of them don't know. Why was it stressful? Like, why was there anxiety on that Sunday morning YouTube?
Well, I mean, we all had to talk. I had to be on camera, and the weigh-ins, the
Yes.
weigh-ins live. So people would know if you're not, on point that week, and the whole YouTube nation would know.
Because
So,
there's no hiding. It is live. Get on the scale and show me your junk.
yep, yep. And so, and yeah, like, uh, um, sorry, lost my train of thought. Um, yeah.
So there was no hiding. You were nervous because you had to talk and you had to weigh in.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how long did it take you to get past that?
Maybe 3 weeks.
Okay. Well,
3
that's
weeks.
not bad.
No, it wasn't. And like I kind of got into the groove of how it worked. And I mean, I still was nervous, like just being on camera, but it wasn't like the anxiety before, like my husband, yeah.
That's
Has been
awesome.
praying, laying hands over.
Peace. Peace. I can totally see that. You're like, oh, so that first episode came out. I want to go back there. Do you remember the first time the first episode aired? Because we taped the show and then it airs. And you know, the biggest transformation, it's not for the faint of heart. I tell them up front, this is my way or the highway. We're not going to have any failures at the 100% success rate. You have to be committed, but there's no room for shame, right? Because we're tackling emotional eating. We're tackling all those thoughts inside of our heads that the viciousness and the negative things we say to ourselves. And so like it's all out there. Like we're going through all of it. And so the first episode I remember that aired and I tagged Danielle on Facebook.
Oh. I was so quick to untag. I was waiting on Facebook for that. I knew it was coming and I was like, nope, you're not gonna get me.
Reject. You never told me that.
Oh yeah. You know, I deleted over 200 of my Facebook friends before the first episode. I've never told anyone because I didn't want to get scolded. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously. Okay. And so I remember you told me that. And then you ended up calling your parents.
Oh yeah.
And had a conversation with them because this was like so many times when we struggle with our weight, it's like this secret thing, right? We don't want to let anybody else know we're struggling. We try to stay strong and do it all on our own until we eventually get to a place of desperation where we're like, something has to give. And you called your parents.
Yeah. Yeah, that was incredibly humbling. Like they knew I was struggling. Obviously, everybody knew I was struggling. Like that can't really hide 250 pounds or 200. Yeah. But it actually was an incredibly amazing phone call. Like they were so supportive. They have been my biggest cheerleaders. I thought that I would be embarrassing them by coming on to the biggest transformation because I'm the only one who struggles with weight in our family. And I just was overwhelmed with the, just the love and I mean, I know my parents love me, but just the support and and they were every Wednesday they were on, they were watching, they were like, how much have you lost this week? Oh, I'm so excited to see. And so that was pretty cool.
Because when we go through that, right, we almost think because we're embarrassed by ourselves. Like we get embarrassed by where we've let ourselves get. So we assume that since we embarrass ourselves, we must embarrass our family. And I remember when you had that conversation and I remember you coming on saying that you had it in their response. And it was such I feel like it was a pivotal moment for you. In that moment, it was like, wait, I'm not like just this almost a level of shame and the embarrassment that you thought was, it just was like it's almost like Rose, like the glasses fell off, the scales fell off. It was like, no, wait.
Yeah. When the first episode aired and my weight was out there, it really was so freeing. Like, I just can't explain the feeling of just, okay, it's out there. Like, can't hide.
Totally. And from there you ended up finishing the first part of this season, the first 12 weeks in second place. She gave birth during the thing. She worked out. So you worked out all the way up until when?
Till the day I went in for my induction. Yeah.
So this woman worked out all the way up until the day of her induction. And like, so what did your doctor, so obviously you began to lose weight, you began to work out. What did your doctor say as this was happening?
Oh, he was beyond proud. Every single time I went into the doctor, he was like, Danielle, I'm so proud of you. Like, what? You're still losing weight. You're still losing weight. Like, and even now, like, yeah, he's just amazed that I actually listened to his advice. Because, you know, for so many years, he would say, okay, you really got to get the weight off. And I'd be like, oh, I'm trying. I'm trying. And now I actually was trying.
Eating another ho-ho. I got it, doc.
Yeah.
Some ice cream cake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, so she would be like, my doctor just said this. And so Danielle had kind of saw me go through pregnancy, a third pregnancy, working out every day and all of that. And I would tell pregnant women all the time, listen, I know everybody gets swelling, but in my first and second pregnancy, I had preeclampsia. My third pregnancy was completely different. I had more energy. I didn't have all the fatigue. I didn't swell. And I remember telling Danielle this. And at the time, do you remember this? You kind of looked at me like, okay, that's good news. That's good to hear. But I could tell she was like, uh-huh. Like you when I told you that, were you kind of like, we'll see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because when you've been pregnant, you're like, no swelling. Okay, honey. But Danielle, all the way up until you gave birth, that whole time, what was that like?
It was amazing. I told people even 9 months pregnant, I'm like, I don't feel pregnant. Like, when is this gonna feel? Like, it was crazy. I had no heartburn. I had no swelling at all.
Hold
Like,
on, say it again. Say it again.
I had no swelling. I could see my ankles and they were getting smaller and smaller. Like, you know, it was incredible. Like, yeah, no heartburn, which was huge for me because I had medication for that in my other pregnancies, and I had energy. I wasn't laying on the couch like I was some like victim of pregnancy. Like it was, you know, I was energetic and exercising, and yeah.
So, and then so you went in, you got induced, you gave birth, and then even your recovery, how was that different from the previous pregnancies?
Well, 30 minutes after I gave birth, I was up walking around like it was like nothing had even happened. I was just like, oh, I have a baby now. Like it really was crazy, so surreal. And I mean, the doctor even let me out a day early because he said I was doing so good, which, like, yeah, unbelievable. And I was like up, I was doing my 40-minute walks every day, right from coming home from the hospital, and exercising way sooner than I did with the other pregnancies. And yeah, I just went amazing. And I got home and I was like, oh, look at my stomach. Like I felt so like tightened up, and like obviously I still had like a bit of a pouch yet, but it just was incredible. Like I hadn't seen myself that skinny in 10 years, and I had just given birth. It was incredible.
So awesome. And you know what I love about this is I can remember giving birth with Gia, our third unplanned pregnancy. And same thing, right after birth, out of bed, and the nurses walked in and they're like, is the mom in here? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the mom. They're like, wait, because I had a tank top on, my stomach went right down. I mean, I had a little bit of bloating still, but it didn't because I had built muscle, right? And so it didn't look anything like my other two pregnancies. And they were like, wait, you just gave birth? And they were like, oh, she must be one of those special chicks, like, one of the ones that just got lucky and blessed. But no, it's because of what we did leading up to the pregnancy. It was it's because of how you prepared your body for the pregnancy. Oh, Danielle, I freaking love this. Okay. I could just camp out here forever. I know we got some other stuff to get to, but so was there anything else in the pregnancy that if somebody's watching, if somebody is pregnant, considering getting pregnant, if they should do something like this, was there any downside that you could see doing this while you were pregnant?
A downside?
Yeah. I mean, I got to ask. I got to be fair and balanced.
Right. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like this
She
was
gives me the stupid look.
yeah. What? No. like it was so worth it. Like, I just can't even explain how different the pregnancies were. I had 2 pregnancies before this, and like completely different, completely.
That's awesome. So you went on after pregnancy. You've been in the program for 24 weeks, obviously down a total of 64 pounds. You came in third place in the entire competition out of 8 people going through a freaking pregnancy. How was the biggest transformation different? Like, how was this time different than all the other times in the past?
Well, first would be the accountability. I mean, that was huge. The accountability, the weighing in front of a group of people, taking pictures, because you can't hide from pictures. Yeah, like the accountability and the vulnerability, I think, was huge for me. Just breaking all those like those walls down that I had built around myself, and just really getting to the heart of the problem, and facing my emotional eating, and uh, that was huge. I mean, that's the main thing for me, is the emotional eating, and to learn to cope in different ways. And like now, if I'm stressed, I do another workout in the evening. Like I would never have done that before, but it helps. It totally takes that feeling of like I need to eat. It's my whole mindset has changed.
Yeah.
And it's
And the
not like
funny,
a go on.
no, go ahead.
Oh, uh, it's not like a diet where I'm not allowed to eat certain foods or like restrict myself. It's just so simple. It's so simple, and it you just calories in, calories out. Like
Something you can do forever. It's not something you did for 6 months and then it's done and you can never maintain it. And so, what is life like today? Obviously, how far are you away from your goal?
40 pounds.
40 pounds. And I know you and I got some big goals ahead for you, some big things we're going to be shooting for. You're going to see her again. I have a big feeling on
Oh yeah.
here, but she's like, yeah, wait for it.
Yeah.
We got some big goals that we're shooting for. But what does life look like now? Almost rounding the home stretch to your goal. What is life as a wife and this new person instead of mom and all that?
Like I get choked up when I think about it, because like my life has completely changed. I like even trying to schedule this. Like I'm like, oh man, like I'm busy doing this, I'm busy doing that, like trying to fit in like an hour to do this. Like I'm like a totally different person, because I'm out of the house. Like I'm going to my daughter's school to do like to meet the teachers. I'm the girls and me, like I took them to the zoo. I took them to what we call Tinker Town. It's like a bunch of roller coasters. Like I just can't even explain it. Like I'm starting to get confidence back and do things that I have just prayed for so many years.
So if you're tuning in late, 6 months ago, she didn't leave her house at all. She had never been to her kid's school. And now she's going to the school. She's meeting the teachers. She's freaking going to the zoo. She's riding. She's being all coy. She's riding roller coasters, whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah.
What does your family say?
Oh, they are beyond excited. My husband is just elated. He is, it's like a new woman. a new yeah, a new woman. And my parents and my sister, they always tell me how proud they are of me, and they're just like shocked at how like I'm going out. Um yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy because Danielle, that old you, that was 6 months ago. That was just 6 months, just a half a year.
Yeah.
It's incredible how quickly you can, when you first signed up, I know, like, your best guess, would you say, like, was this it, or is this exceed your best hope of what could happen?
Oh, this far out, like, exceeds every expectation. Like, I expected to lose weight because, I mean, no one didn't lose weight in the first season. And, but I did not expect the whole transformation of, like, inward. The inward transformation to me was just amazing. It blows my mind because, like, now I'm meeting more people. I am, like, actually out there, like, putting myself out there, and, you know, inviting people over that I just met, or, like, it still stuns me that, wait, I'm doing this. Like, yeah.
If there's somebody watching who has given up, given in, they've lost hope, they don't know where to start, they think that's great for those special people, but you don't know my situation, what would you say to that person watching this, Danielle?
Just start. Just do it. It Yeah. Just say yes. Just give your yes, because it is yeah, you won't even recognize yourself in 2, 3, 6 months from now, and you will not look back. You will not look back.
So awesome. Danielle, I am so proud of you. Like, you blow me away. You inspire me. You are the reason why I do what I do. Um, your transformation from the inside to the outside, to watch you blossom, to watch you truly walk in the person that God created you to be the wife, the mom, the daughter of the King. It has been my honor and privilege. And I know we're not done yet, but I'm so freaking proud of you. Thank you so much for being on tonight. Like, for sharing with them, for inspiring them. Make sure in the comments you give her some love. This woman, give her all the likes, give her all the encouragement, because this woman is a walking inspiration. Someone who's refused to stay stuck, someone who refused to sit on the sidelines, someone who refused to be a shell of herself. And Danielle, so very proud of you. And so, thank you for joining. We will be back live next week, same time, same place. In season 3 of The Biggest Transformation will be on. Danielle's a mentor in season 3. Her mentee will be on. Who are you menteeing?
Trisha.
Trisha. I love it. So she's Team Trisha. Go, Trisha. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a great night. And we will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place.